but that's more rare than a woman who naturally would be more inclined to be connected to her emotion. You know what I mean? Like we just have differences, and that's what we're just exploring. You know. She's not crying.
What are y'all doing?
We're talking to people on the streets.
About what?
Why is this being confrontational?
No, it's not a confrontation.
I'm
because
just
you
very
upset
curious.
you've upset the lady you were.
Warning. The following film contains highly controversial footage because it's got a woman in it hearing facts who's forced to think for herself. As such, it might be removed at any moment, like it has been before. Enjoy. Excuse me, miss? Hello. Hi, can you tell me what we've missed here? Because it looks like something great happened and we just showed up now. What's going on here?
Yeah, we're in acting class, and we've chosen political speeches that we admire, and we've taken them to the park to give to the public and practice just spreading the words that we find passionate and powerful. Yeah.
That's great. I was wondering what was going on because she's up there and people, all these people, and I'm like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. Can we ask you a really quick question for a little video? Just whatever comes to your mind naturally. What would you say? Can you name some things women just have a knack for more so than men?
Probably compassion and empathy and generosity of heart. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not, a lot of people go with that. And what comes to your mind if I say what would you say men are better at than women?
I don't know. A lot. I think both have their pluses and minuses. I think men are better at probably guarding themselves. Yeah.
Not so good with the emotions. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. Yeah. Well, they're good at a lot of things, but that's
Nothing that you can think of right now.
no, that's just the one that came up. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like muscle stuff. Usually we're pretty good at muscles.
Muscle stuff?
You know, like strength.
Sure.
That's an easy one. That's a go-to one.
Oh, I think women are good at that too. Yeah.
But like as a tendency, generally speaking, you know, women are more connected to the emotions, but men are usually a little bit more muscly. You know.
I think that's been the stereotype, but I think that's definitely changing, you know?
I think women genetically are catching up to men in strength.
Yeah, I think the emphasis on men having to be so strong and like that sort of stereotype, I think that's going down.
You think that it's an emphasis on men being strong, or men just are naturally just stronger because of their genetics?
Oh, interesting. I think women are just as strong as men. I don't know.
Physically?
Yeah, I do.
But they're not though, right? They're not. Like, look at this. I'm a normal dude. Look at my size. I'm just bigger, right? So I'm gonna have more muscle. That's a normal. It's just how it is. It's not.
Not all men.
No, there are of course exceptions, right? Of course, there's men who are like this tall, and you could just slap them and beat them up with one hand. But generally speaking, of course, there's men who are intuitive and very emotional and in their hearts and very good at connecting with their emotions too. But that's more rare than a woman who naturally would be more inclined to be connected to her emotion. You know what I mean? Like we just have differences, and that's what we're just exploring. You know. We just find it really interesting how people are scared to say that we're different. I think it's okay to say that we're different. We all have our things that we're good at. Doesn't mean any sex is superior, but we're just different. We're just not the same. You know.
I think it's just the word strong is a difficult one to apply to this because it's like saying women aren't strong.
We're only talking about physical strength. We're not talking like overall strength or goodness or any of those things. Just physically. That's all it was.
Yeah, I think I get that. But I'm just questioning if there's another word that might, make it easier for people to say yes or no to that,
I don't know. What's another good word for strong?
No, that's what I'm proposing is.
It's a good word, though. Strong. Strong is the word. Strong. Look at that. That's strong. So yeah, that's. But don't you think it's interesting though that you yourself, you kind of struggled when we asked, what are men better at? You kind of It was a struggle. It was like there was some part of you that didn't want to admit that.
Because you don't want to go towards I don't want to go towards the like hyper masculinity and like feed into that sort of like, you know, box that men are put in, and there's a box women are put in, and so I think it's a challenging time to be like, what, you know.
Well, here's what I think. I think by admitting that we're different, but ultimately we're just, you know, we're just two halves of one coin, right? Like we need each other. We love each other, so for real happiness and joy and peace to happen on the planet, we need to accept that we're different, but not see any one side as superior or better, just that we're just different, and then we accept those differences, we love each other, we come together, and we make beautiful babies. That's what I think.
Are you asking if I agree, or?
Well, no, that's just what I think. But do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that everyone's different. I think, yeah.
Do you?
Do I think everybody's different?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Do you guys want to come talk to us? I think they like you more. I think they like you. How you doing? How you doing? You want to come talk to us? We're talking about the differences between men and women, and we're just asking people. She's not okay. Well, I don't know. How am I gonna fix it? She's not crying. I didn't ask anything. I was just asking what's the difference between men and women. Is she crying? All right, let's go talk to her. How's it going?
What are y'all doing?
We're talking to people on the streets.
About what?
About the difference between men and women, what men are great at, what women are great at, everything.
What is this for?
You want to talk to us?
Well, who are you for? Like, what is this for?
For my YouTube channel.
Why is this being confrontational? Why
No,
is
it's not a confrontation.
I'm
because
just
you
I'm
just
very
upset
curious.
that you've upset the lady you were talking to. She's
Oh.
she's in an upset state.
I haven't asked anything upsetting at all.
So what have you asked? What are some of the questions you've asked?
I'm gonna go through them with you. You want to do it? No. Let's go through the questions. Let's go through the questions. All right. So we're gonna go through the questions.
There's no need to be confrontational.
Pause it. You were very confrontational to that woman.
Hang on.
Were you confrontational?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think.
I know that was intense, right? So when that happened, I couldn't believe. I'm going to share with you guys what happened, just because it's interesting, right? I couldn't believe it because, I didn't ask anything wrong at all. I was just questioning her belief that men were not stronger than women physically, it seemed pretty insane. Just ridiculous. It's a lot of programming. So I just wanted to gently prod and be like, hey, because I couldn't help it. I was just like, really? And and I had no idea that she was upset. So I was so shocked when they're like, she's crying. I was like, what? So I wanted to go over and make sure she was okay, and make sure, whatever. But then these guys came over and they started arguing and stuff, and it was it got really crazy. There was one guy, I think you only see him for a second. There was this white guy who was basically trying to put this narrative like, yeah, you've upset her, so it must be your fault because she's upset. And I was listening to them like, no, I don't agree with that at all. Actually, it's up to the person themselves to be responsible for their emotions, because a lot of situations in life, somebody could take offense, but no offense was intended. There was a story in a paper in London where, a guy offered an older woman a seat on a bus, and she was like, oh, how dare you? What are you saying? I'm old. I'm only 57 or whatever. So she's offended, and the guy was trying to be a gentleman, a nice, kind person to let someone who's a bit older sit down. So it's up to us to be in charge of our emotions and our state. So it's really insane for him. So this guy was blaming me, like, oh, you must have done something bad. I'm like, no, your friend's crying has nothing to do with me. I'm just out here, asking questions, and that's it. So, but that's sort of like self-development stuff, and most people are not. They're not really, anyway. So he was quite lost himself. And then these other fellows that came in, I really like those guys actually. They're interesting. We actually had an interesting debate with those guys afterwards, which would just take too long to go into. But yeah, once they realized, like, we were just asking questions and stuff, everything was okay. But for a moment there, I was like, oh, this is getting tense. This is fun. And there was a part of my head that was like, this is great footage. But we ended up not filming the rest of the conversation. But anyway, so it was very interesting going out there, and it was fun. Anyway, so I'll stop ranting. That's basically what happened for this video. And so yeah, see you in the next video.